Welcome to Shaped by Faith with your host, Theresa Rowe. To find out more about Shaped by Faith and Theresa Rowe, please visit shapedbyfaith.com or visit the YouTube channel, Facebook, or Instagram. And now, here is Theresa Rowe.
Welcome to Shaped by Faith, where we shape our bodies and hearts for God's purposes. One of my favorite guests is Brenda Walker. She formed the nonprofit ministry called, and you might have heard it, maybe you haven't, but you're going to hear it today. It's called Graced Again. So this organization exists to provide individuals graduating from shelter programs with furnishings for their new homes. So Brenda, welcome back to Shaped by Faith.
Thank you, Theresa. It's an honor and a privilege to be here.
Absolutely. I kind of want to give the listeners a recap. I know you were on, gosh, it's been a while. It's been over a year. So I really want our listeners to know where you came from, like your background and how you got involved with Grace Again. So you're a retired teacher and guidance counselor from Country Heights Elementary. So what did you enjoy most about your time as a teacher and counselor?
Well, as many teachers will tell you, the relationships were key for me, just bonding with the children, with the staff, and watching them grow and learn and getting to know them. Those were some of my best memories.
So I'm sure there's been some major changes or shifts since you have been there last, and you've seen these take place in the schools in the past few years. So what are some of the major changes you've actually seen in the school system?
There have been, of course, like you said, many changes over the years. The state and national higher-ups are much more involved in the day-to-day operations of the school system than they were when I first started teaching. And, a lot is required of the teachers. A lot is required out of the classroom as well as in the classroom. And, I see a lot of stress there that has built over the years. I can't imagine me personally doing the schedule they did last year when the pandemic hit. I know that had to be hard, but the teachers that I know and had talked to, made it a success for the students and did the best they could. And those will be memories that they'll have and talk about for a long time, I'm sure.
Right. Well, I know, looking back on my own experience in school, which was a while ago, the students now, I feel, have it so much more challenging. And like you said, you brought up the pandemic. I mean, that never happened, when we were in school. I mean, it wasn't even thought of to shut down the schools like that. And of course, we didn't have virtual learning or anything like that. But I feel, Brenda, that the counselors, they've really stepped up. They've stepped out. And I feel that's such a positive influence in the schools that kids, students need really good guidance counselors, especially during this time. So when you were a counselor, what did you see was the greatest need maybe a student have or maybe the greatest issue they were dealing with?
Looking back, there were so many issues, and a lot of it was very private. Mm-hmm. And so, not things that others would know about, in their classroom or their peers or even teachers sometimes. And that's hard for a little one to be carrying the burdens of the world on their shoulders and having to function in the classroom. And that was always an issue. We went through some trying times when, we lost a student in the school to an accident or an illness. That was always a very difficult time because many of the children had never experienced death at their young ages to someone they know, and especially someone their age. So that was always a very difficult time to go through too. And the guidance counselors work closely with social workers and, often law enforcement. I mean, just various things. And so much of that, when you and I were in school, we didn't know anything about those things, didn't know that went on, but there's a lot going on. And of course, the school is a lot more involved in a student's life than it was when we were in school. That many of the children eat breakfast and eat lunch at school. They rely on the school for school supplies, for clothes, for, all those extra things that many children just have. And so it's there's a whole lot, and the school is required to do a whole lot more now than they did many years ago.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, there's a lot more awareness of the students' needs. There is so much more help, thank goodness, available for them. But again, the workload probably has been beyond what a person is capable of. But I know that God is with everyone that's helping others. And I know he's in the school system. I know he's there. I know we have some fantastic teachers that love God, that serve him, that love on children, and just point them in the right direction. Now, I know when you were a counselor, you sponsored a group called the Club Pride, and you helped with service projects in our community. So did you help with the local shelters in our community?
Yes. Our school motto at that time was celebrating the pride within ourselves and our friends and our community and the world. And so Club Pride was thought about long before it actually happened. But I met with our fifth graders, and who were the oldest in the school. And I thought, before they go to middle school, this is a great time to grab them and make sure they're aware of, what's going on in their community and the needs in our world, our local world. And so Club Pride started as a way to help within our school and to help within our community. And at times we, helped with national issues. And so I did that for the last 10 years of my career, and it was a blessing every year. We did many things to help the local shelters and other activities in the community. And I remember a huge project after Hurricane Katrina even. And so we did a lot and opened their eyes to what they could do individually and as a group.
And all children need that experience, to know that there's others out there that need help and that we can give them a hand up. And there's always something that we can do to volunteer to help someone. So did you volunteer within the local shelters through this, through the service projects?
Yes, we did a lot of activities that helped local shelters. Our kids hosted an Easter egg hunt. That was one of the first things that came to mind, and what an experience for them to actually go to the shelters and see where the children there live and what their life is like. And then we always, of course, they hid eggs for the children. They took everyone a basket, and we had prizes and did fun things. One year we stuffed rabbits, I can remember.
Rabbits?
We stuffed rabbits. And we always had activities in case it rained. One year they were, expecting rain. So we put the fluorescent tape on all the eggs, and we did flashlight Easter egg hunts and, inside, and, just tried to make it as fun as possible. And I think that the adults and the kids even mentioned this many times, that the adults enjoyed it as much as the children did, because it was a happy, normal thing for their children to be involved in. And they loved that. Mm-hmm. And we loved it. And the children loved going there. They were all about going back. But
was it probably a blessing both ways? As the children blessed, and then they were blessed back to see the other children in the families receive. I mean, that is a huge blessing,
yes.
That we receive. We need to take a really quick break here, Brenda. So everyone stay tuned. We'll be back with more Shaped by Faith. Welcome back to Shaped by Faith, where we shape our bodies and hearts for God's purposes. Brenda Walker formed the nonprofit ministry called Graced Again, and we're going to hear all about it in this segment. So the organization exists to provide individuals graduating from the different shelter programs with furnishings for their new home. So Brenda, what led you to start Graced Again?
Well, Theresa, I had been involved with the shelters for many years through my position at Country Heights, and then in Graced Again, as we talked about, and then through my church, and just individually too, just various things to help, and I saw firsthand what their needs were and what they struggled with, and all. And so when I retired, I wanted to continue doing that, and so I did various things, and that eventually led to Graced Again.
So when did you start Graced Again? What year?
Well, it kind of started in late, I guess, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
For a while, I had been, one of the ways I'd been helping was when a client had finished the programs at the shelters and were moving out and starting over, and if they needed a bed or a couch or whatever, sometimes one of the staff members would call me and I would help find one. Mm-hmm. And so I watched that need grow and grow, and just felt led, definitely felt this was a God thing. I felt led to do more about that and to devote more time to that. And I had been teaching part-time at a private preschool and loved that, enjoyed that immensely. But around the time the pandemic hit and teaching stopped, I truly felt that was the time that I really needed to devote more time to this. And Graced Again was actually a product of the pandemic, I guess.
Well, something beautiful came out of the pandemic, and we're hearing that more and more. I love the name, Graced Again. Mm-hmm. So how did you come up with the name, and just explain its meaning?
Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't foresee Graced Again growing to be what it is now, but God did. He knew. Mm-hmm. And so I just needed something to give to some of the people that I talked to with my phone number on it. And so I thought, well, I guess, if I was going to have cards printed, I thought, well, I guess I needed something besides my name and phone number on the card. And so I was thinking about a name, I thought, and I gave it a lot of prayer because I wanted it to reflect the mission, that I felt. And so after thinking about it and praying about it for quite a while, literally Graced Again was given to me as I was typing that first order of business cards. And I was actually thinking along the lines of something else, but that was a gift there. And because so often many of us are graced with all the things we need in life and a lot of what we want as well. And when we go to upgrade or redecorate or whatever, we can grace others with our old things. And that's where the name Graced Again came from. Our belongings can be a gift to others, and definitely a gift of grace. Yeah. But
now I know that individuals that, graduating from shelter programs, you help them out. So can you explain that a little bit, Brenda, like what shelter programs, and just explain who Graced Again serves?
Mm-hmm. Well, we basically serve anyone starting over. But a lot of our new friends come out of the local homeless shelters. Many come out of local recovery programs. And so often they have worked very hard to start life over, to rebuild their lives, and, have gone through the programs at the shelters to build themselves up emotionally and financially, and they're ready to give it another shot. And but as they are celebrated and for finishing the program and ready to to start over, they discover that they don't have anything. So, I mean, many of them don't have so much as a fork or a washcloth, and and so that's where we come in, and help them with the basic needs that they'll have, and excuse me, they often, I see it in their eyes and in their words, that they're just floored by the things that they receive, not expecting such nice things often, or that people would, just donate these items to them, because a lot of them still, for whatever reasons, look down on themselves sometimes, and some don't feel they deserve these things. But, for strangers in their community to want to give them a hand up and to help them on their way, that's truly a blessing to behold.
Where do you find the people? Obviously you're in contact with local shelters, but is that how you find the people that are in need?
Yes, often it is, and a lot of word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that we've helped in the past, if they met someone, they will pass it along to. I get a lot of referrals from therapists, from family resource, people in the school systems. I've had doctors' offices, refer people,
Mm-hmm.
just from a variety of sources.
Let's talk about some of the household items that you do repurpose to help the families out and begin their new lives as they're transitioning. So, what are some things that people are in immediate need of that maybe we have at home, that we're not using right now that we need to donate?
Yes, and of course we take the bigger items, beds and couches and things like that, and those are always needed. But just little things, often, a lot of times when they move out to an apartment and they're so excited and all, and get ready to open that first can of soup, they realize they don't have a can opener, or or no silverware. A shower curtain, that's a biggie, or a liner, those are important to be able to use that, and just little things, coat hangers, sometimes, or even cleaning supplies to clean their apartment, just little things that we take for granted and use every day. They often struggle with trying to get their hands on.
And that costs a lot of money when you add all that up. And if people have that at home, I mean, I know, of course, we have a lot of children, and I'll give them, the silverware. If I don't use that silverware, here's some plates or some coffee mugs. But we always have extra. If God has blessed you and you have extra, why not step up and donate? And, and you're talking some of the bigger items like your beds and couches and things like that. So, Brenda, we'll get into it a little bit, then we'll carry it over in the third segment. What if someone cannot physically take a bed to where you're at, or a couch, or those bigger items? Do you have someone that will come and pick them up?
I have the world's best volunteers. They're my family now. They definitely feel like family, and they jump in and help out. They pick up items, they deliver items, they, help organize. They know as much as about our storage areas as I do, and they're, I count on them every day, and they always deliver.
Yeah, they are amazing people. So we're gonna talk about them, but we're gonna take a really quick break again. We'll be right back with more Shaped by Faith. Everyone, stay tuned. Welcome back to Shaped by Faith. We shape our bodies and hearts for God's purposes. Brenda, you were just talking about your wonderful volunteers that are so amazing that will pick up household items if someone can't physically take them to you, right? So how many volunteers are you working with? And question here, do you need more volunteers?
We have several that work every week, in some way to further Graced Again, and then a few others that I can call on when needed. So many of the people who volunteer with us are people that have had that help in the past, and they realize the importance of it, and they want to give back. And I see a lot of giving back and the joy that comes from giving back. But they are so faithful, and and they're one of the biggest blessings to me personally from Grace Again. Of course, it's helping those in our community, but it's just getting to know them and what they mean to Grace Again, what they mean to me, too. That's a big blessing in my life.
And, I saw firsthand, Brenda, and we're going to get into this a little bit, when Project Volunteer, Randy Lanham, and I'm his co-host of that show, we were out there partnering with your ministry that day to help with a nursery makeover. I mean, I saw firsthand the results of when you give, and, just the blessings both ways, like I'd mentioned before. But that young lady, and she had just had her baby, and it was just incredible. I know that something like that impacts the hearts of a person, and they have got to know that God is real, that He is watching over them. Can you give us an update on this young lady and her baby?
I sure can. And I'm thrilled to say at that time that when we filmed the show, the baby was in the NICU, and a mom was a new mom again of just a few days. But the baby celebrated her first birthday in August. She is thriving, just adorable, and, learning all kinds of new things. Every picture I see her, every time I see her, she has a huge smile on her face, and mom as well is thriving. She works full time and takes wonderful care of this baby. And, God is very much at the center of their lives, and they are still rejoicing in that experience, just the baby room makeover, and what a blessing that was in their lives. And it's just a joy anytime I'm around them.
Well, just, the things that we take for granted, like, if you're getting ready to have a child, just to have a baby bed ready, and we sometimes take that for granted, that maybe we do have a baby bed, but someone else doesn't, So, I'm sure there's needs like that still to this day that, is there immediate needs, Brenda, like baby beds, couches, a regular bed, things like that? What's your immediate need? And I know you have a lot of storage units as well. Do you have enough storage units? Do you need more space?
Space is at a premium always. We have 2 large storage units right now, and then Owensboro Christian Church was gracious enough to share some of their space with us too. We have items stored there, and so we go back and forth and try to keep track of it. Some days it's it's in and out the door quickly, but space is a biggie, and we try to use it wisely.
Maybe you need one big building.
Yes.
Apply one big building, please. So what are some of the immediate needs that you see that people need that maybe you don't have enough of?
And I know this probably sounds funny, but silverware is always a big deal. It seems like people upgrade their dishes and maybe their cookware and things like that, but they keep their silverware. And so silverware is always something we're looking for. Right now, box springs are a big deal too, because a lot of people keep their box springs, but they buy new mattresses. Oh, and so we are always needing those. And we go through spells where we have full beds, but we really need queen or larger. And right now we can't get our hands on twin beds. It seems like they're always needed too.
Okay.
Yes, towels, and that's another one of those things you really don't think about it until you get ready to take a shower or a bath. That, I need a towel, but, and washcloths, those type of things. Cookware has been something too, just a pan or a skillet or whatever, those are always needed as well.
Okay. So everyone out there listening, Graced Again is in need of silverware, cookware, box springs, twin beds, towels, washcloths, and also you take donations, right, Brenda?
Yes, absolutely. The storage, they help with storage fees, and sometimes if there's a dire need, we have been known to purchase, items if the funds are there, and a lot of times, we buy off marketplace or used too. That's perfectly fine. We're thrilled to get that, but yes, those are always appreciated.
Okay, so we need to know how to contact you, Brenda, in order to donate. How do you want us to contact you?
Okay. Many people call or text. Text is great because I have it written in front of me. Our number, I can give it to you, but it's also on our Facebook page.
Okay.
And I'm glad to do that. It's 270-316-7219.
Okay. 270-316-7219. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And they can text at that number as well. Our Facebook page is simply Graced Again, and that's Graced with a D on the end. We get a lot of contacts there. And then we also have an email address, which is gracedagainky.
Okay.
At gmail.com.
Gmail.com. Okay. We're out of time, Brenda. I think we could continue talking, but I will definitely check back in with you. And as always, I always love talking to you, but thank you so much for what you do for our community.
Oh, it's a blessing to me, and it's a blessing to behold. And thank you for the opportunity to get the word out.
Absolutely. Everyone have a blessed day. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Shaped by Faith with Theresa Rowe. Remember to visit shapebyfaith.com to find out more about workouts, the TV show, podcasts, blogs, Shaped by Faith products, and much more.